Hey guys, I'm getting ready to do my pick'ems for the Austin Major because I haven't done them yet, and I really need to get them done. So if I look a little scruffy, it's because yeah, it's early in the morning, and I just yeah, I wanted to get this done. Before I actually get to this though, I just want to say, well, actually I think technically the date was yesterday, but I did get my 10-year veteran coin if it would actually decide to load, so that's pretty cool. So I will make a video, kind of commemorating that. Pretty crazy. Didn't think I'd be playing this game for 10 years when I started. Um, didn't know what my life was going to look like, 10 years after. I would see people with 10-year veteran coins, but I would just think like, man, 10 years, like I may not be playing video games in general in 10 years. So, super cool to get something like this. You know, looks really nice in CS2, obviously. And and yeah, so thank you for those of you who have like been playing games with me for that long, and yeah, there will be a video that I'll make with that at some point. I was originally going to release it like the day of the anniversary, but I just didn't get the video made in time. So I'll be working on that within the next couple of weeks. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out before the major, before I leave for the playoffs. Um, but I'll try to. If I don't, I'll probably have to finish it up after the major. So yeah, so we'll see. But it should be, it's something that I'm gonna work on. So, but now to the pick'ems. Now for the pick'ems. So I'm not gonna lie to you, these teams fucking suck. Um, sounds so terrible, but it's true. It really is. And so I'm pretty sure they've changed it now to where you can actually do the pick'ems legitimately, like who you actually think is going to be 3-0 and who you actually think is going to go 0-3, without having to like play mini games and shit, basically, and like how to game the system, which is what you used to do. You used to game the system to try to, maximize your chances. I don't think that happens anymore. Or I don't think that exists. I could be wrong. So I'm just pulling up on my phone. I got some of the first round matchups just to double check and make sure my 3-0 picks are going to be okay. Admittedly, so one of them is going to be Heroic. I think that's a pretty obvious one. They're playing Chinggis Warriors in their first game. Spoilers, Chinggis Warriors going to be 0-3 for sure, or at least I'm going to put them 0-3. The next team, I think some people are having a relatively tough time kind of coming up with it from what I can tell. I think it should clearly be Complexity. I think Complexity is by far and away the best team after Heroic. I think Heroic and Complexity are probably at the same level. What I don't know is if they both go 2-0, is if they have a chance of playing each other. I would imagine they don't, but I don't know how that some of that stuff works in terms of the seeding and how it's done and stuff like that. So I hope that doesn't happen. But I do think they're both teams that should go 3-0. As for my second 0-3 team, pretty tough. Because while none of these teams are amazing, none of them are that great either. Like they're not that terrible. Some of them aren't great, but they're not bad. I would say Namiga. I'm actually really surprised Namiga made it as easily as they did, because they were a team that frankly just looked terrible. They had some upset wins, I believe, in Pro League as well, but it wasn't like they didn't look good in my opinion. I didn't really like. I also a little biased because I saw Complexity absolutely give them a beatdown online, right before Complexity started getting good. But I don't know, man. I've never been. I just don't think. I think they got pretty lucky winning their best of ones in the qualifier. Um, got lucky with their matchups and made it through. And there's usually a team that where that happens, and I think it was Namiga this time, and I don't really believe in them. So I'm not going to go two Asian teams. I'm going to put Namiga as 0-3, 3-1, 3-2. 3-1, 3-2. So again, this is where things get a little tricky because a lot of these teams are pretty decent. But they're also not that good, or they have massive flaws or question marks, right? Like Wildcard looked good at times, but for the most part this year they've been pretty disappointing. Um, NRG have looked really good domestically, but then they go play international opponents and they seem to play below their level. So there's a lot of really big question marks here in terms of who do you think is going to make it, who do you think is going to make it far enough and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and pick some of the more obvious picks, at least in my mind, that should make it through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think in terms of order of this is not going to be in order of strength of teams in terms of, oh, I'm picking this team first to go into 3-1-3-2. I think this team is the best of the 3-1-3-2 teams. I don't really believe that, but I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. I think FlyQuest are probably going to make it through. I'm fairly confident with that. OG, I think, is actually really good. I know a lot of people haven't seen OG play, but Krizen is a really good IGL, and I think I think OG might surprise some people with how good they are. So I'm gonna put them up there. I actually think Bait is just a straight up really really solid team. So I'm gonna put them in there. I feel really bad not putting Brazilian team in here because there's always Brazilian teams that do well at sub stage of the major. It feels like I'm gonna put Imperial. I think Imperial is probably the best Brazilian team here. This is where things get tricky. We only have 2 spots left, and frankly, there's a lot of teams that could be fighting for these. NRG, Bet Boom, I think are options. I almost feel disrespectful not putting Bet Boom in here considering their team. So maybe I put Bet Boom in here, and then let's think about this last spot. I think this could be quite tricky. I think it actually could almost be decided by who wins between Tai Lu and NRG, which I know sounds absolutely insane, but I think Tai Lu, tough to predict, but I do think they're good. Um, are they better than NRG? I don't think they should be, um, but it's really tough. The problem is I just haven't seen enough from NRG. Like they played NIP close. I mean their results are probably better than Tai Lu. All things like I think that's probably pretty clear. The hard part is they're playing each other in a best of one. So in their first round matchup, so if it goes bust, if they straight up like if I pick Tai Lu and NRG wins, Tai Lu's probably not making it. And if I pick, see, this is where I want to know the seeding because I think the teams that are going to have better seeding are going to have a better chance of making it out on these last couple spots. And I don't really know how that's determined. I would imagine it's fuck, because I don't know. I don't know. Um, you know what? Let me look up Blast's. Let me go on their page and look at. I'm sure they've got the rankings somewhere. Because that's the question, right? Is who, in terms of the seeding, who are going to get good games and who are not, right? Like I don't know how that works. So this looks like fantasy schedule. Okay, cool. So this has the rankings here, it looks like. So looks like Tai Lu. Actually, I don't know if this is the rankings or if this is just order of teams. It looks like it's order of ranking. Which, if that's the case, NRG would have better seeding. Wildcard have better seeding than NRG, but do I really believe in Wildcard? I don't really trust Wildcard, to be completely honest with you. I don't really trust them at all. I kind of want to go. I think I'm going to pick NRG here. I'm going to pick NRG, but I'm a little worried about it. Um, the only other team that I haven't mentioned that I do think could be a surprise, um, that I haven't talked about at all, is Metasport. I think Metasport could do pretty good. They could make it to the next stage. I think where I'm picking like OG instead of Metasport. That's kind of where I'm going with that. If I had to take a gamble on an EU team, I'm taking the gamble on OG over Metasport. That's kind of where I'm at with that. And to be fair, Metasport might even have a better chance of making it than NRG. I don't know. But I think this is okay. We'll see. Like I said, a lot of these teams, man, they're not incredible teams. They're okay teams, but they're not. They've got massive flaws and massive question marks, and any of these teams could surprise, right? Like I think Legacy could surprise people. I know they're a late, notice into the major, but they're not a terrible team. They can compete. with these guys for sure. I could definitely see them making it through. Ty Lue could make it through. Lin Vision haven't looked as good internationally compared to Ty Lue, but domestically, Lin Vision's been very strong. In some cases, better than Ty Lue in some in some matches. Um, Fluxo, I don't really know that I believe in them a whole lot, but I don't know that they're going to go 0 and 3. Um, Metasport, I think, could be a surprise. Wildcard, if they step it up, they've had a terrible year, relatively, but these teams aren't great. And if Wildcard performs, to their level, yeah, they could definitely make it 3-1, 3-2. So it's going to be interesting. But I do think this is okay. We'll see how things go and how things shape up, and if we're able to move on into and get the what would it be, the silver coin or the bronze coin? I don't even know. But we'll see how we do in stage one, and then we'll make our pick'ems for the future. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, let's. I'm excited for the major. I hope you guys are too, and we'll see you for how we do in stage one slash pick'em predictions for stage two.